What's up guys, welcome back to a new video. I'm on my way home from the gym. I'm in the car, so you know what time it is. It's story time. I was not planning on making this video, like I actually didn't want to make this video, but after I made that video called I Lost Her, talking about this girl, Alaska, so many of you guys have been asking me about it and have been leaving comments asking me, am I seeing her? Like, what's going on? Did you meet her again? And initially I didn't want to talk about it, but after making that initial video, in a certain sense, I feel like I owe you guys, a follow-up and an explanation. So for those who have no idea what I'm talking about right now, I made a video about 3 months ago, I want to say, which was called I Lost Her. And in that video, I basically described my encounter with this very special girl. So if you haven't seen that video, you might want to go check that one out first before you continue watching this, because this is the sequel to I Lost Her. So all that being said, let's get straight into it. So 10 days ago, I was in Barcelona and we agreed to meet for dinner. On my way over to meeting her, I actually ran into this guy who was selling roses. And initially, I walked past him and didn't think anything of it. I'm like 20 meters down the street, and all of a sudden, like, this thing just, gets in my head where I'm like, I've never seen this guy selling roses on this street. And I'm always looking for signs. And I know I might sound crazy to a lot of y'all, but I truly believe that the universe is sending us signs all the time, like big signs, small signs, all type of signs. And I'm sure that some of those signs are signs that we want to see and they're not actually there. But in this particular case, I felt like, you know what? I've never seen that guy selling roses. Like, what a coincidence of me running into him as I'm going to meet her. So I decided to turn around and go buy a rose for her and surprise her. So as she showed up and I gave her the rose, like, she was so surprised, like she had never expected that. And she asked me, like, why? And I said, because I wanted to. And I could tell that, she really appreciated the gesture, and I was so happy that I did decide to buy the rose. So then we were supposed to go to this coffee place where she likes to go, but I decided to mix it up a little bit and change plans. So I told her, I have a surprise for you. Now, one of my best friends in Barcelona, Alex, the Colombian guy, he works at this super nice hotel, which is actually really exclusive, and they have this, I think it's a 5-star hotel in the center of Barcelona, and they have this amazing rooftop bar, which is only accessible to people staying at the hotel. Now, me knowing him, obviously I've got the hookup, so, I told her, like, hey, I've got a surprise. And I took her to this hotel, and, she was like, what the hell is going on? Like, why are you taking me here? So we're in this elevator going up, and she starts freaking out. And I'm like, what's going on? And I forgot, because she had mentioned before that she hates elevators. Like, she gets really, kind of like not claustrophobia, but she feels very uncomfortable in elevators. And she had told me that before, but I totally forgot. So she started freaking out a little bit, like, oh shit, Lorenz, I'm in an elevator, I can't do this. And I was like, fuck, I can't believe that I forgot this. So I just put my hand on her shoulder and I told her, like, relax, like, I'm here, it's gonna be okay. We're almost there, everything is fine. And I calmed her down. So then when we made it to the top floor and the elevator doors opened, this amazing view, just showed up. And just seeing the look in her eyes and, the absolute surprise, like she had never been there, she didn't know what it was, and that made me so happy to see that look on her face. So after having a few drinks there, we decided to go for dinner to her favorite ramen place. So at one point, I look over to her, like we're sitting at the bar eating, and I look over to her, and I just, I tend to just say what I think, and I told her, like, you look really beautiful tonight. And she smiled and she said, "You're really good at that." And I said, "Good at what?" And she said, "At making me blush." Now the thing is, she had expressed earlier on as well that sometimes she still feels that my interest in her is based upon her looks. I'm not sure if I've mentioned this, but she's actually a model, like a real model, like not an Instagram model. Like, I'm talking about someone that actually gets paid to do professional photo shoots. And obviously, I can tell from her past experiences that a lot of people have always tried to get close to her because of the way she looks. Now, with me, that's not really the case. Like, obviously, I think she's extremely beautiful, but that's not the main reason why I'm drawn to her. Like, she's very special. She sees things in a very special way, and she's very sensitive and is able to put her emotions and thoughts into words in a very unique manner, which I haven't, encountered a lot in my lifetime. So after dinner, it was getting really late and it was after midnight. It was time to go home. So we got the check and I walked her home. And on the way home, it was not a long walk. It was like a 5-minute walk. I grabbed her hand and she held my hand, I held her hand, and for those 5 minutes, everything just made sense. Like, my mind stopped racing. Like, usually I'm always thinking about something. Like, it's hard for me to be in the present. Like, I'm always thinking about the past or the future. This is one of my biggest issues that I have to work on. And for those 5 minutes, like, everything just felt right. Holding her hand, having her next to me, escorting her home through the dangerous streets of Barcelona. It was nice. It was right. And for those 5 minutes, I was so happy. And then, I delivered her to her doorstep. We said goodbye, and that was that. So after that, I went home. I went to bed, and the next morning I woke up and she had sent me a message on WhatsApp at 3 in the morning. And to keep it short, she told me, she thanked me for the amazing time. She told me how much fun she had had, and and then she said that she's in love with somebody else. And the thing is, like, in the past, like, if I was a few years younger, this would have absolutely ruined me because I always had very, very strong expectations. And in this case, the only thing I felt was gratitude. Gratitude for her being honest to me, and gratitude for having had those moments that I was able to share with her. Like, regardless of what happened or what happens, from this point on between me and her, or, no one can ever rob me of those 5 minutes again of me walking her home and feeling complete, feeling at peace, feeling happy, feeling content. And even though that she told me that there's someone else in the picture, I have no problem with that, because the way our story has been unfolding, it's been a beautiful story. And if there's one thing that I know for sure, it's that this is not the end. Not even close. And this is just yet another chapter in our book, and no one knows how it'll end, and no one knows, and that's the beauty of it. But all I know for now is that I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy to be able to share these moments with her. And I'm happy to see that finally I'm starting to grow. Like, finally, I'm able to let go of my huge ego, of my expectations, and finally, I'm learning to appreciate things instead of creating these romantic projections of how the future should be, which always ends up in me being frustrated. And also, I'm happy and I'm grateful to be able to share this with you guys and to have an audience that's actually willing and happy to listen to what I'm going through. So that's all I'm gonna say for today. That's where me and Alaska are at right now, and I have a strong feeling that this is not gonna be the last time I talk about her. But yeah, that's it. That's the story for today, guys. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up and leave a comment and all that stuff. Wishing you all a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.